Let me take you back. My name is Vincent, and I've always believed that trust is the foundation of love. Without it, love becomes nothing more than a beautiful illusion. I learned that the hard way. I was once engaged to a woman named Casey. We had years behind us, years spent building what I thought was a solid future. But everything came crashing down when I discovered she was still seeing another man. That night broke me in a way I never expected. In the next few minutes, you'll understand how it all unfolded. Casey and I first met at a housewarming party hosted by a mutual friend. Our first conversation was light and casual, but somehow it flowed into hours. We exchanged numbers, stayed in touch, and met up when we could. Initially, it was casual, coffees here and there, quick lunches. But before long, we both began investing more time and effort. Those simple meetings turned into dinner dates, weekend outings, long phone calls that stretched past midnight. Eventually, we became official. Things progressed naturally. We didn't rush, but we didn't stall either. After about a year, it became normal for her to spend the weekends at my place. She'd arrive Friday evening and usually stay until Sunday night. We never felt the need to move in together fully, and honestly, we were okay with that. My home gave us the comfort and space to enjoy time together. Her place was smaller, and though I went there sometimes, it never felt like home. One thing I genuinely admired about Casey was her willingness to open up. From the start, she was transparent. About her exes, her family issues, even the lessons she learned along the way. She never seemed like she had anything to hide. She often spoke about a childhood friend, a guy she described as like a brother. She made it clear that they had never been romantically involved. I believed her. Why wouldn't I? When someone's so open with everything else, you take their word as truth. Eventually, I proposed. She said yes. We started planning our future together. Wedding dates, honeymoon spots, guest lists, dream homes, you name it. I was emotionally invested, and financially, I was preparing to build something meaningful. Everything seemed aligned. But I was about to learn that sometimes what seems real isn't. One Friday, she arrived at my place like usual with her overnight bag in tow. We had dinner together, and somewhere between bites she mentioned she'd need to leave the next day to visit her family. I didn't ask too many questions. She rarely discussed her family's affairs, and I respected that boundary. I've never been one to pry when someone clearly doesn't want to share. She hadn't given me a reason to doubt her, until that night. After dinner, we settled into the couch and started a movie we'd both been excited to watch. Partway through, she fell asleep on my shoulder, something she did often when she was tired. I wrapped my arm around her gently and kept watching the film. But throughout the movie, her phone screen kept lighting up. No sounds, just vibrations. I thought it was nothing, probably just her group chats. Once the credits started rolling, I leaned forward, about to gently wake her so we could move to bed. But then I noticed her phone. I picked it up, not thinking much of it, just instinct. What I saw on the lock screen froze me. The message previews were not something you'd expect from someone who's like a brother. We had each other's phone passwords. It was a mutual agreement early in the relationship, a sign of trust. Without hesitation, I unlocked it. What I saw turned my stomach. The messages were flirtatious, deeply personal, filled with emojis, private jokes, and plans. One text from him read, "Can't wait to see you tomorrow." Her response, a heart emoji. Then, "Told him I'm with family. We're good." She sent that while sitting across from me at dinner. I didn't confront her then. Couldn't. I just sat there, watching her sleep, my heart sinking. My mind raced with questions. Was I not enough? When did this start? How had I missed it? I stared at the woman I thought I knew and realized I didn't know her at all. Morning came. She stirred next to me in bed. For a brief moment, it all seemed normal again. She kissed my cheek, stretched, and went about her usual routine. She packed her things, tossed them into her bag, and smiled as she spoke. She said she'd miss me, said she hated how short the weekend felt. Promised next time she'd make more time. I nodded, barely responding. Her words sounded rehearsed, like something she'd said before, maybe even practiced. I wanted to see how far she'd take the lie, so I kept quiet. Eventually, She paused and looked at me. "You okay?" she asked, sensing something. I shrugged and muttered the usual, "I'm fine." She laughed. "Already missing me?" She nudged my arm playfully. I forced a smile. But inside, I felt like I was holding a weight so heavy it could break me. She zipped up her bag, walked toward the door, and I followed. Like always, it was part of our goodbye routine. I'd open the door, she'd smile or kiss me, and that was it. This time I opened the door. She stepped out. But I didn't say a word, not goodbye, not take care, not even a text me later. Just silence. The loudest goodbye I've ever given. When I got there, I didn't cause a scene. Instead, I looked her straight in the eyes and simply said, "Hope your date goes well." I watched her face shift like it couldn't settle on a feeling. Confusion, panic, guilt, flashing all at once. She stuttered, "Wait, what? What do you mean?" Her voice wavered, but I didn't give her the space to spin anything. I calmly lifted my hand, just firm enough to signal, "That's enough. There's nothing more to say," I told her, and then I closed the door. The moment the door clicked shut behind me, I barely made it a few steps before the banging started. It wasn't casual. It was frantic, as if she could reverse what had happened by knocking hard enough. The knocks turned to muffled crying, then pleading. Through the door, she begged me to hear her out. My phone buzzed once, then again, and then it wouldn't stop. I didn't even have to look. I knew it was her. Still, I glanced anyway. Her messages flooded in one after another. "Please open the door. Let me explain. It meant nothing. I won't go. I'll cut off anyone you want. Just talk to me." I just sat there, looking at my phone. Her words kept coming, but none of it added up. If it really meant nothing, why lie? Why hide it and pretend it was a family trip? Why meet another man at all, especially for a weekend away? I felt paralyzed. I kept asking myself, was everything we built a sham? Did she ever love me like I loved her? Or was I just the stand-in while she sorted her feelings for someone else? Was he always in the picture, quietly waiting while I played the role of the safe, dependable one? I didn't respond. I didn't open the door. I didn't send a single message. After what felt like hours. After her crying, knocking, pleading, and texting, she finally left. But it wasn't over. Not even close. Days passed. Then weeks. But the messages didn't stop. Every morning I'd wake up to new ones stacked on my screen. She stopped hiding how desperate she felt. Her texts were stripped of any clever words. They were raw. "Please. I didn't mean to hurt you. Let me explain. Sometimes just, I miss you." One night, she wrote, "I know I don't deserve another chance, but I'll keep trying until you tell me to stop." I didn't block her. I didn't even open most of the messages. I'd just see the preview and turn off the screen. Of course, I wanted to respond. I loved her once. But every time my finger hovered over the screen, I'd think of the lies. Then one weekend, I heard a knock at my door. I didn't move at first. Stayed on the couch, waiting, hoping she'd just go. But she didn't. She stood there. Then came another knock. Louder. Then her voice. "Vincent, please. I'm not here to fight. I need to talk." I still didn't respond. I waited, hoping she'd walk away. But she didn't. She stood outside for 15 minutes. Then she whispered, "You were right. I messed up. But please, just hear me out." I finally opened the door. I told her to speak. She said she'd been emotionally confused. That it wasn't love. She just missed that chapter of her life. She admitted she lied. Thought I'd never find out, so it felt safe to do what she did behind my back. She repeated that it didn't mean anything. That it was a mistake. But the fact that she had to lie proved it meant something. I let her talk. All of it. I didn't interrupt. When she was done, she looked at me like she was waiting for judgment. I asked her one question. "Would you have told me if I hadn't found out?" She froze. Her mouth opened, but no words came. She dropped her gaze, lips trembling. That silence said more than anything she'd confessed. If I hadn't checked her phone, if I hadn't read those texts, she'd have gone on that trip, smiled at me after, and kept planning our wedding like everything was fine. I stepped back. She looked up with hope, maybe thinking I'd forgive her. But I didn't. Then everything was built on lies, I said. And I'm not marrying someone I can't trust. She tried to speak again, but I lifted my hand calmly. No yelling. I was past that. Please don't call me again. Don't come here. Let this be the last time. Then I closed the door and locked it. She stood there a while, eyes full of heartbreak. And then she left. People always say love is rooted in trust. I never imagined I'd be in a situation where I had to question the entire foundation. But after what she did, it wasn't just trust that broke. It was the love too. The scariest part? You can be certain of someone. You can build with them, invest your heart, time, and energy, and still end up blindsided. That's what cuts the deepest. That lie? It wasn't some small misstep. It told me she could hide serious things. And if she could hide that, how many other secrets were buried in our honest moments? Betrayal doesn't just destroy trust. It slowly erodes every memory. I still catch myself replaying old times asking, was that even real? I'm not pretending I've healed. I haven't. But I do know one thing. I deserve the truth. Now I want to hear from you. If this had happened to you, what would you have done? Did I handle it the right way? Or was there something I missed? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Someone else might be living this right now, and your words could be the clarity they need.